can we control fire? What is flame? What is the structure of candle flame? What is fuel efficiency? What are the characteristics of ideal fuel, and how and what are the harms caused by the burning of fossil fuel? So now we discuss all these points one by one. Okay, first of all, measure to control fire. Children, burning of any substance produces fire. Fire may be useful or it may be harmful for us, right? Like if we are using fire for cooking food, then it is harmful. But if somehow any electric equipment or petrol pump or any tanker, it catches fire, that means it is harmful, right? So we have to douse fire if the fire which can be brought about by burning of electric equipment, petrol pump, etc. Okay, so the process of extinguishing a fire, it is said to be the fire fighting. So every city or town has its own fire service in the form of fire brigade station, right? And these firefighters or fire brigade, they are specialized for putting out fires. That means they are the trained person. So certain training is required to for putting off the fires. So the telephone number of the fire service is 101. Okay, so whenever any fire is there, you have to dial this phone number 101, right? So children, in fire brigade station, the fire brigade will extinguish a fire by sprinkling the water on the affected area. Children, why fire water is used for extinguishing fire? This is because when water is thrown on the burning substance, it gets cooled below its ignition temperature and burning get stopped. Okay, so when a person is working with a fire extinguisher, right, these maybe the person which are there in the fire brigade, they should be trained, because they should know how to extinguish fire. Okay, so children, when water is thrown on the burning substance, it get converted into water vapor, right? And this water vapor will reduce the temperature of the fire, and hence its ignition temperature will goes down and fire will get extinguished, right? But in all the cases, like in case of electrical fire or petrol fire, water is not used. Why it is not used? Because in case of electrical fire, water being good conductor may give electric shock to a person, that persons involving in fire fighting. Okay, same way, if petrol fire is there, children, water is heavier than the petrol, so it will settle down below the petrol, and petrol will keep on burning. So in these cases, water is not used as a fire extinguisher. Means water is not used to extinguish or to control fire. That is, in case of electrical fire, you have to use specialized fire extinguisher. Okay, now children, we need three things to control the fire. So by removing the supply of fuel, we can control fire. By removing the heat, in case like by cooling it with water, we can douse the fire, or by cutting the supply of air. That air is needed for fire to be caused. So by cutting off the supply of air, we can put off the fire. Okay, so condition which are necessary for combustion, if you will remove all those conditions, then the fire will get extinguished. Okay, now fire extinguisher. Children, water is most common fire extinguisher, right? But it works only for paper, wood, etc. I told you earlier that water can't be used as a fire extinguisher to extinguish fire that are caused by oil or petrol or electrical fires. Okay, now here the carbon dioxide is used as a fire extinguisher. So if you want to put off fire that is caused by petrol or electricity, there the carbon dioxide fire extinguisher is used. You must have seen this cylinder in a school near the library. So in this, the sodium bicarbonate is there, right? So when this sodium bicarbonate comes in the contact of heat, it produces carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide form a blanket over the layer, blanket over the oxygen. That means it covers the oxygen, because carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen, so it will cover the oxygen, as a result of which what will happen, the supply of air will cut off and fire will get extinguished, right? So carbon dioxide acts as a very good fire extinguisher. Children, here in the slide it is written CO, but small 2 is there, which is not visible. The formula of carbon dioxide is CO2, right? So don't get confused that it is the formula of carbon dioxide is CO. So certain little bit of this it is not very much, it is faded, 2 is faded here, right? So it is not very much clear. So formula of carbon dioxide is CO2, right? Now uses of blanket. So when we use blanket, if the cloth of a person working in the kitchen catches fire, then the person is immediately covered with a blanket. And why do we why this practice is done? It is done because blanket cut off the supply of oxygen. If you will cover the body of a person with a blanket, it will not allow oxygen to come inside, as a result of which fire will get extinguished, right? Now the small fire can be extinguished by throwing sand. You must have seen in our assembly ground there is certain red color buckets are there, in which fire is written and sand is filled on that, inside that buckets. So whenever small fires are there, so these small petrol fires, they are there, so they can be extinguished by throwing sand on them, right? So children, once we will recapitulate all the point. So water is used as a very important fire extinguisher. Why? Because it cool down the fuel, as a result of which ignition temperature goes down and the fire get extinguished. Water can't be used to extinguish petrol or oil fires, because water is heavier and it settles down and the petrol continues to burn. In such cases, carbon dioxide fire extinguishers, they are used. Sometimes carbon dioxide is stored in a cylinder in the liquid form, right? And when it comes out with the high pressure, it helps in extinguishing the fire, right? And sometimes this carbon dioxide is not directly filled. Instead of carbon dioxide, baking soda, that is sodium bicarbonate and potassium carbonate, dry powder is there in the fire extinguisher. And when these dry powder, they come out in with the heat of the fire, it get converted into carbon dioxide gas. It produces carbon dioxide gas, and this carbon dioxide helps in extinguishing the fire. As you know that children, carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen, so it will cover the air as like a blanket, and hence the supply of oxygen will cut off, right? And we also studied that use of blanket is there. So if person is working in the kitchen, or his clothes may get on fire, so what you do, you cover the body of a person with a blanket, and this blanket remove the supply of oxygen, as a result of which fire get extinguished. Okay, now forest fire. So forest fire is the example of spontaneous combustion. Children, in forest, due to sun's heat, right, sometime what happen, the dry leaves or dry grasses catches fire from leaf to trees, and eventually entire forest will get into fire. So this is the natural cause of fire, and sometimes the carelessness of human being also may lead to forest fire. Okay, now children, we will study about the flame, right, and flame structure. So first of all, you should know what is a flame. So a flame is a region where combustion of gaseous substance takes place. So underline gaseous substance here. because whenever gaseous substance is there or vapors they are there, then only the flame is formed. Okay, so those fuels which form vapors or which are in the gaseous form, those fuel are capable of forming flame, right? So like LPG, biogas, wax of the candle, camphor, magnesium, all these they are able to form flame because they vaporize or they are in the gaseous form, right? So you must have seen the burning of candle. In candle, the actually wick doesn't burn. Wick melts the wax which is present in the candle, and this candle wax contain carbon and hydrogen. So when they get the heat from the wick, right, this carbon and hydrogen, they turn into vapor, and burning of this vapor produces flame. Okay, but in certain cases like coal and charcoal, you will not see flame. Why? Because here coal and charcoal, they do not vaporize, and if they will not vaporize, they will not give you flame. So in a nutshell, you can say that all substances which are capable of forming vapors or which are in the gaseous form, those fuels can only form flame, and those substances which are not capable of producing vapors, they will not able to form flame. Okay, now children, when the supply of oxygen is not there, because before discussing the flame we should know all these things. If the supply of oxygen is not there, then what will happen? The flame which will be formed, it is luminous flame or yellow colored flame. Okay, and why it is yellow colored flame? Due to the presence of unburned carbon particles. So here the carbon particles, as I told you earlier, in wax, carbon and hydrogen, they are there. So here the carbon particles, they do not get burned completely. Why they are not burning completely? Because they are not getting oxygen. For complete combustion, more amount of oxygen is needed. If somehow the fuel is not getting proper supply, some amount of oxygen, then it will not burn completely. So partial combustion takes place, as a result of which unburned carbon particles, they are left behind, and you will get yellow colored flame, and this yellow colored flame is said to be light giving flame or luminous flame. Okay, now we come to the non-luminous flame. You must have seen the flame of gas stove. Okay, in gas stove, blue flame is there. So if whenever blue flame is there, that means that region is getting full supply of oxygen, right? And non-luminous flame it is produced. So this is not the light giving flame, that is why it is said to be the non-luminous flame. Okay, here the flame is non-luminous because it is not getting proper supply of oxygen. Okay, so two types of flame, one is luminous, other is non-luminous. Remember this, non-luminous flame is light giving flame, and it is yellow in color. And why it is yellow in color? Due to the presence of unburned carbon particle. And blue color flame is non-luminous flame, and it is non-luminous flame. Why? Because here the proper supply of oxygen is there, and so it is. And keep this thing in mind that blue color flame is quite hot in comparison to yellow color flame. That is why you not use candle for cooking food. You always use gas stove which give blue flame for cooking food. If you will use candle for heating something, it will take more time in comparison to blue flame. So blue flame is hotter in comparison to yellow flame. Now we will discuss the structure of flame. So children, you can divide candle flame or any flame into three parts. Three regions they are there in the flame. The outermost the innermost zone of the flame is black. And why it is black? Because here the unburned carbon particles they are there, and it is the innermost zone. And keep this thing in mind, this is the coldest part of the flame. Here the temperature of the flame is very much less. Okay, next come the middle zone, and it is yellow in color. Middle zone in yellow in color. Why? Again I'll repeat that in case here the unburned carbon particles are there, and it is not getting proper supply of oxygen. As it is not getting proper supply of oxygen, so partial combustion of wax will take place, and this will result in the formation of yellow flame, and this yellow flame is light giving flame. So unburned carbon particles, they leave the flame with smoke and soot. So you will get black color. If any slide is placed on this flame, that portion, this portion of the slide will become black, and this is due to the carbon particles. Okay, so here the temperature, it is neither too this zone of the flame is neither too cold nor too hot, so it had moderate temperature, right? So this is the middle zone of the flame, and it has moderate temperature. Keep this thing in mind, and it is light giving zone of the flame. Now the next zone, that is the outer zone. Outer zone of the flame is dark blue in color. It is blue in color. And why it is blue in color? Because here the complete combustion of wax vapors, it is taking place, and it is the hottest part of the flame. So there are three zones of the flame. The innermost zone of the flame, it is dark in color, right? And it consists of hot unburned vapors of combustible material. It is the least hot part of the flame. You can say it is the coldest part of the flame. Next is the middle zone of the flame. It is yellow in color, bright and luminous. Here the fuel vapors, they burn partially, right? Partial means not complete, right? And there is not enough air of burning in this zone. The partial burning of the fuel in the middle zone produces carbon particle, and due to this carbon particle, flame produces smoke and soot. Soot means carbon, black color substance, right? It has moderate temperature. And the outermost zone of the flame, it is blue, and it is said to be the non-luminous zone. This zone is the complete combustion of the fuel. Here the complete combustion of the fuel take place because of plenty of air around it, because it is the outermost zone. So this zone is indirectly, it is in direct contact with the air. That is why it is getting proper supply of air. Hence complete combustion of particles takes place, and blue color flame appear, and it is not a light giving flame. One important characteristics of this zone is that it has highest temperature. Okay, so it is the hottest part of the flame, and this part of the flame is quite thin as compared to the middle zone. So when you will draw the diagram of the candle flame, which is very important for your examination, keep this thing in mind, that the outermost zone, which you will make it thinner than that of yellow zone. Now children, goldsmith blow air with a blowpipe to intensify a kerosene lamp flame for melting and molding pieces of gold and silver. So why goldsmith? One question is there in your NCERT book, that why goldsmith use which part of the flame goldsmith use for melting gold and silver? So your answer will be outermost blue part of the flame. And why? Because it is the hottest part of the flame, right? So due to its characteristic that it is the hottest part, it is used by the goldsmith for melting gold and silver. Now we will discuss the characteristics of ideal fuel or good fuel. Actually no fuel is ideal, because one or other, some in any fuel not all the characteristics are present. So no fuel is the ideal fuel. So we can say that characteristics of good fuels are, okay, first of all you should know what is a fuel. You know children, the fuel is a substance which on burning produces heat, right? So one by one we will discuss the characteristics of good fuel. So good fuel should be easily available. So if you are getting fuel easily, that means it is a good fuel. It should be cheap. It should not be very much costly. It should generate large amount of heat on burning, right? And it should leave no unwanted matter after combustion. Like in case of wood, you must have seen that after burning wood, ash is left behind. So wood cannot be said as a good fuel, right? So if you compare wood with the LPG, or you can compare wood with the petrol, so if you burn same amount of wood and petrol, the wood will give much lesser amount of heat. That is why wood is not said to be a good fuel, because on burning 1 kilogram of wood you will get lesser amount of heat. Beside this, one important characteristics of good fuel is that it should be environment friendly. This is the most important characteristic of a good fuel. It should be environment friendly. It should not produce harmful gas which may affect our environment. Okay, so once we will recapitulate the points. Ideal fuel or good fuel should be easily available. It should be cheap. It can easy to transport. It can easy to store. It should not generate it should not leave any unwanted matter after combustion. It should be environment friendly. It should generate large amount of heat. That means it should have high calorific value, which I'll discuss later on in this topic. Okay, and it should have proper ignition temperature. It should have proper ignition temperature. That means ignition temperature should neither be very low nor very high. If very low ignition temperature is there, then the spontaneous fire will be caused, as we discussed in case of phosphorus, right? And if very high ignition temperature, then it will take lot of time to catch fire. Like wood has high ignition temperature, so it take very much time to catch fire. So these are the characteristics of ideal fuel. I told you children that no fuel is the ideal fuel, right? So in no fuel, all the characteristics of ideal fuel they are present. So fuels can't be said as an ideal fuel. You can say that if most of the characteristics are present in the fuel, then that fuel is said to be the good fuel. Now we will discuss the fuel efficiency or calorific value of fuel. The amount of heat produced by complete burning or complete combustion of 1 kilogram of fuel is called calorific value. It is very important for your examination that what is calorific value. Means the amount of heat produced on burning 1 kg of substance or fuel. Keep this thing in mind. Suppose you are burning 1 kg of wood and you are burning 1 kg of hydrogen. So 1 kg of hydrogen will produce large amount of heat in comparison to 1 kg of wood. So one hydrogen will be better fuel than that of wood. Okay, so the unit of calorific value is kilojoule per kilogram. You know the unit of heat is joule, right? So kilojoule, and the unit of mass is kilogram. So kilojoule per kilogram is the unit of calorific value. So calorific value, you can the formula for the calorific value is equals to heat produced in kilojoule upon amount of fuel in kilogram, right? So keep this thing in mind. Only in case of calorific value, we use only 1 kilogram of fuel. So then only we will be able to compare their calorific value if we are using 1 kilogram of fuel. Okay, so here is the table in which the calorific value of certain fuels they are given. Children, hydrogen, I think certain problem is there. So only 15 is written. Actually this is not 15, it is 1,50,000 kilojoule per kg. So correct, if you are noting all these things in your notebook, so note this value correctly as it is given in your NCERT book. So you may see the value of hydrogen gas, which is 1,50,000 kilojoule per kg, right? And you are seeing that hydrogen has highest calorific value, and cow dung cake, uple or kande in Hindi it is said to be. So cow dung cake has very less calorific value. So if you will compare hydrogen with cow dung cake, hydrogen will be better fuel than that of cow dung cake, because cow dung cake has 6000 to 8000 kilojoule per kg calorific value, while hydrogen has 1,50,000 kilojoule per kg calorific value. Okay. Now, harmful effect of burning fuels. You know, children, when we burn these fuels, lot of polluting gases they are released. So burning of fossil fuel, mainly petrol, diesel, kerosene, they releases harmful gases like sulfur dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, carbon monoxide, which may cause respiratory disorders, and they are also responsible for the acid rain and global warming. Okay. So burning of wood also releases many unburned carbon particles, and these harmful gases, they may cause many respiratory disorder like asthma, which is one of the respiratory disease. Okay. Now we will discuss global warming. Children, when burning of fuels takes place, they release carbon dioxide gas. Children, you know that carbon dioxide is not a harmful gas, but nowadays, due to deforestation, we are continuously cutting the trees, and by cutting the trees, the amount of trees, they have become many-fold less in comparison to the amount of carbon dioxide produced. So this carbon dioxide which we are producing, it amount is much more than that of trees on our earth. That is why this carbon dioxide is forming blanket over in a atmosphere, as a result of which there is rise in global temperature. The earth temperature is rising day by day, and due to this rise in temperature, the ice in the polar region, it is melting and very fast, and producing lot of water, and this is resulting in the rise in sea level and flood in the coastal areas. Now children, the low lying areas, right, if we will not stop this global warming, the low lying coastal areas, after some time, they will get completely submerged underwater, and this will cause lot of loss of life and property. Okay. So here in this diagram, you are seeing that earth is covered with a fire. Actually, it is not so, this is just a poster, and what this fire is depicting, that the temperature of earth has rise many fold, and this is due to increased greenhouse gases, and carbon dioxide is the most important greenhouse gas, right? Beside carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide is also, methane is there, right? Oxides of nitrogen, they are there, water vapor is also there, and certain amount of chlorofluorocarbon, they all are also involved in the global warming. Okay. Now the acid rain. Children, you know that burning of coal, petrol and diesel, they mainly release sulfur dioxides and oxides of nitrogen, right? And these are the gases, and these gases, they are formed of non-metal. In metal and non-metal, we studied that non-metallic oxide, you know, sulfur and nitrogen, they are non-metals. So these non-metallic oxides, they produce, when they reacts with water, they produce acid. Same way, these sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen, when get dissolved in water vapor which is present in the atmosphere, they will form acid rain, and when this acid rain will come down along with the rain, it will cause harm, right? So this acid rain, it is very harmful for our crops, building, soil and aquatic animals, right? So it is very dangerous. Like Taj Mahal, you must have seen that you must have seen the Taj Mahal, and it is very historical monument, and the yellowing of marble of this Taj Mahal is due to this acid rain only, because acid rain this Taj Mahal is made up of marble, and marble, the chemical formula of marble is CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate. This calcium carbonate may react with sulfuric acid and nitric acid, right? And when it will react, it will corrode the marble, and hence the marble will turn yellow instead of white. Okay. So the acid rain, it can damage your crops, right? It is harmful for a building as well as for a soil. Okay, prevention of acid rain. if you want to prevent all these the harmful effect of burning of fuels, you can use the cleaner fuel, right? So if you are using the cleaner fuel like CNG, compressed natural gas, so why CNG is said to be the cleaner fuel? Because it releases very less amount of or very small amount of harmful gases. So in comparison to petrol or diesel, it is quite cleaner fuel. So if we switch over the cleaner fuel, then we can prevent our earth from getting damaged due to environmental pollution caused by burning of fossil fuel. So children, one important thing here to note, that burning of fossil fuel also releases carbon monoxide gas, which is very very harmful, because if fuel is not burning properly, it will incomplete combustion of fuel will result in the production of carbon monoxide, and this carbon monoxide gas, it is very harmful. It may cause carbon monoxide poisoning. Why? Because this carbon monoxide gas has more affinity for hemoglobin than that of oxygen. More affinity means if carbon monoxide and oxygen compete, carbon monoxide will win in the competition and it will join hemoglobin, and it will not allow oxygen to combine with hemoglobin. So in your body, deficiency of oxygen will be there, because whenever you want oxygen, carbon monoxide is getting on that side, so it will result carbon monoxide poisoning, and it may lead to the death of the organism. That is why it is always advised that when you are sleeping in a room in which coal fire is burning inside, you always have to open door and windows, because this burning coal fire, it will produce carbon monoxide gas. So if your windows and doors, they are closed, then this carbon monoxide will remain inside the room and you will inhale that carbon monoxide, and if this cause was not removed, ultimately it may lead to the death. Okay, so this gas is very dangerous, right? So if we will switch over the cleaner fuel like CNG, then the environmental pollution we can reduce the environmental pollution. So in Chandigarh, in Delhi, etc., you must have seen in mainly in all the part of the country, now we are using the CNG's autos and CNG buses, because CNG is quite cleaner fuel, right? And it produces less amount of harmful gases in comparison to petrol. That is why government of India is using more and more for transport purposes. We are using more and more CNG driven vehicles in place of petrol and diesel. So I think children, this topic, all these topics which we have discussed today, they are clear to you. Okay, so here we ends the chapter. This is for today.